All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Welcome to the Thursday night product call for Q Sciences. Just like to do a couple quick announcements. Coming up May 16th and 17th here in Salt Lake, we have our Rocky Mountain Summit. Right now, until April 1st, the tickets are on sale for $79.95. So really take advantage of that because April 1st, those ticket prices will go up to $99.95. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Call into our IBO Success and place those orders and grab a couple extra for your team and make sure that you're able to come out to that and be able to share that experience and learn and be able to build your teams. Just so we can make sure we have a clear feed tonight, let's go ahead and make sure everybody mutes their phone. Also, for Q Text, for reminders for these calls, go ahead and text 60637 and just text Q, and we'll go ahead and send you a reminder each week of these calls. Tonight, I'm very pleased to be on the call and be able to have a special guest, David Hall, with us on the phone. David's been here in the office quite a bit. He's very, very knowledgeable, and he's in the health industry, and he's here with Q Sciences to help us be healthier and more in shape. And David's a world-renowned fitness innovator and the creator of the Cellerciser. So, David, if you're okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you to share this great product and share what you have to tell us tonight.
Thank you, Gentry. It's a pleasure to be on the program with everyone. I hope everybody did do some form of exercise today. It's so important. We're told up to 25% of people in this country don't even exercise a single day in a year. That's just hard to imagine. But when you think of typical exercise, it's not really a lot of fun. Kind of laborious. We've been taught for years you have to tear down to build up. We've all heard that. Or you have to sweat to get a good exercise. It just means the body's overheating. It's how it cools itself down. You have to do 20 minutes to get a good aerobic exercise as if the cells have watches. Or here's one. We all grew up with it. No pain, no gain. You look at some of the intense programs that are being taught today. They're taking far more out of the body than they'll ever give in return. I work with people all the time that have torn up their ligaments, their tendons, and their joints because of the intensity of those programs. We all need exercise. We understand how important it is. What I want to do tonight is share with you a whole different methodology of exercise, and it's a program that is unique, is different. It can be done by all ages. You have no limited market, really, and we call it Cellerciser. Now, when I began about 25 years ago, I had a little double chin, a little belly. I was about 5'10" and a half. I'm now 5'11" and a quarter, been measured by 3 doctors and 1 attorney. So I talk about it. My entire physique has changed, and people began asking me when I started doing this what I was doing. So I started sharing it with them. They started getting these incredible benefits. I'm going to read some of them to you. And I was invited to speak as a lecturer. And so I did that for about 25 years all over the country, igniting an entire different methodology of exercise. We call it Cellerciser. Cellerciser doesn't tear down to build up. You don't have to sweat. You can do it in 10 minutes a day with every single muscle of your body flexing over 100 times a minute. It doesn't involve no pain, no gain. Again, you can do it every day, several times a day if you want. It is the only exercise that I am aware of that can claim to be an isometric for toning from the inside out. We know when muscles get weak, they sag. They start to drop. Internal organs begin to drop too. This helps to lift, tighten, and tone from the inside out as an isometric. It's an isotonic in that it's weight-bearing, but the increase of weight is not limited to certain muscle groups or body parts. It's on every single cell in your entire body over 100 times a minute. Now, that can burn a lot of calories, but we're talking about muscles, bones, connective tissue, skin, collagen. We'll read some testimonials about that. I'm one of them. It's an aerobic program. Every cell is working. You're opening up the lymphatic and circulatory systems. You're increasing oxygen and blood flow to all areas of the body, and it's fun. This is a program that's fun. So the benefits of Cellerciser, if you can visualize typical exercise, if you apply weight or stress to a certain part, function, or muscle, that muscle starts to adapt because of the weight to become stronger. When you apply weight to a muscle, you simply cause the cells of that muscle tissue to expand and contract with more weight or stress against the cell membrane. Now, the cells of our body don't care where the weight comes from. What if you could be watching television and be exercising every single muscle of your body all at the same time? You can with cell size, and I do. There's a lot of us that do. So if you have, and many of you listening to this may have issues with knee problems, hip problems, back problems, digestion, elimination issues, critical for good health. How do you put your colon and your intestines through a little washing machine every day so you improve digestion, elimination? We'll talk a little bit about that. Liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, adrenals, they're all being stimulated over 100 times a minute. Balance, equilibrium, which we're not born with. You know, we start to promote improved balance when we challenge balance. And that's literally what cellular size does. So for those who are listening to this, I want you to think in terms of a 10-minute routine that strengthens every muscle of your body all at the same time, reduces body fat, 75 trillion cells flexing 100 times a minute instead of a few muscle groups, firms your legs, thighs, hips, and buttocks, can strengthen your arms, increase agility, improve balance, rhythm, timing, dexterity, hand-eye coordination. Provide an aerobic activity for your cardiovascular and pulmonary circulatory systems. And increase oxygen blood flow to the brain. This is a program that's being featured more and more in health magazines, books, and articles as being effective in helping to lower high blood pressure, helping to reverse hardening of the arteries, the number one degenerative disease, helping to lower elevated cholesterol and triglyceride levels, increases oxygen and blood flow to the brain, being utilized by a number of ophthalmologists to help revitalize vision. We show different programs that help to imbibe the disc of the back with more fluid. They're just simple movements that have been very effective. I'm going to read a few testimonials because all of you know somebody in that category or who's having a hard time dealing with stress. If you look at a baby when they're fussy, you'll see a parent often take a baby, put them over their shoulder, and they gently bounce the baby up and down, and the baby begins to relax. Well, we're too big to be put over somebody's shoulder, but whenever I have a hard time sleeping at night, I'll get on the cellular sizer. I'll gently move up and down and relax the shoulders, the back, and the buttocks. I just relax. It's a massage. And after I've gently done that for a few minutes, I go back to sleep, and I have no more stress or tension in the body. I don't have to toss and turn to get rid of it. So it's very effective. We have the Jamba Run. You can only do it effectively on a cellular sizer. The Jamba Run utilizes the biggest muscles of the body and can be done by virtually anybody. You can start off with the Jamba Walk. It's done by spreading the feet apart a little bit, bending the knees slightly, keeping your back straight and your feet flat, kind of a horse stance. And you walk in place, pushing down into the mat. So your hips are gently dropping. But when you keep your back straight, you bend at the knee slightly, you're utilizing the biggest muscles of the body. That's the thighs and the buttocks. They have the greatest demand, and they can give us the fastest results. We have women who have written me beautiful testimonials. They've gotten rid of their cellulite in as little as 2 to 3 weeks. We've got a doctor who took one look at the Jamba Run. He said, David, that's so intense it'll grow new capillaries. Well, you have to add the two together because when you get deposits of white adipose tissue or fat and you don't have circulation to it, that's where we get our cellulite. So we've got to increase the circulation and generate more heat while we're doing that. And that's exactly what the cellular sizer has the ability to do. So when I start off in the morning, I start off with a gentle baby bath, 2 to 3 minutes of a gentle movement up and down on a cellular sizer. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the cellular sizer because I don't want it to be confused with a rebounder or a mini trampoline. Typical rebounders and mini trampolines have been around for many, many years. When I first entered the industry, rebounders, every one of them that I know of, all of them, were producing little tube springs. And these little springs on these units would stretch a little bit, and they come to an abrupt stop or jar at the end of the stretch. The jarring effect was so severe, it could actually break the spring or damage the person using it. My dad attempted to do my exercises on a typical rebounder in 1995, and he was permanently disabled within a month by putting a bone fragment through a nerve in his lower back. You have to have great support. You have to have good response. Well, I introduced in the early 90s a barrel-shaped spring. Had a larger diameter in the middle, and it tapered on both ends. That helped keep the weight of this spring in the middle. and it would stretch. And so you have these springs stretching and decelerating and accelerating and creating a pumping action and a weight-bearing activity every time you move up and down on the Cellerciser, but without a jarring effect. Well, I started to do this, and everybody starts coming out with these rebounders or mini trampolines with tapered spring designs. The problem is that the steel in the spring is not strong enough. Then they can look the same until you step on them. When you stand on them, when you sink and your feet pronate, because the steel in the spring doesn't support you well enough, and you land like that over and over, that can cause ankle problems, knee problems, lower back problems, hip problems. So we have to have something that creates resistance. So I then, instead of having a barrel spring, I created the patented Triflex triple-tier tapered spring, and that's made available now through Q Sciences. No one else in the world has it. It is a patented spring design. The steel in our spring is so strong, it destroyed conventional spring molds, so we had to create a tungsten steel mold just to be able to produce this spring. But that's what gives us the support and the response. These aren't rubber bands. They're not bungee cords that can stretch out, or the moment they warm up, they become sluggish. You have to have something that has good response under your feet when you're doing the exercises that I teach. And that's what the Cellerciser does. The mat material, I want to talk a little bit about that. The mat material on the Cellerciser, for those who are using it or interested in sharing it with others, it is not your typical canvas non or plastic mat. This is a mat where it's made out of a polypropylene, but it's a space-age process where every fiber of that material is put under nearly 200 tons of pressure. It is so incredibly dense that they make swimming pool covers out of it now because it's UV resistant. You can actually leave this out in the sun, the rain, and the snow. I use it because you can't stretch it out. So you're doing these different movements on the Cellerciser that focuses on these different areas of the body, but your foot is not rolling on you. It's supported. If a mat stretches and you jump on it at an angle, it will have a tendency to throw you off. But on a Cellerciser, you can alter the angle of your body and lift you straight up. So you're very well supported, and that's very important. The steel or the springs do not connect directly into the frame on our unit, so we never wear the frame down. This is an incredible piece of exercise equipment. It's designed to last a lifetime. That's what we want it to do. The rubber tips in the actual unit itself are not typical rubber. They're more of a polymer. They last for years. We have never worn one of these things out. So it's just a great unit. But when you get on a Cellerciser and you wake up in the morning, when I wake up in the morning, I start to a gentle bounce, moving up and down. And as I move up and down, the pumping action of that movement moves fluid up and down through the body as well. The lymphatic system, which is extremely important to keep us alive and healthy, the lymphatic system is a circulatory system working throughout your entire body. When I get on the Cellerciser and I start to move up and down, millions of one-way valves in the lymphatic system start to pump or suck. They start to suck circulation through the tissue space. It's a vacuum system of the body. So in about 2 to 3 minutes, I'll notice any puffiness around the eyes disappear. As I'm moving up and down, these G forces that we get on the Cellerciser are causing every single cell, which means every single organ, to gently be massaged or expand and contract again over 100 times a minute. So the thyroid, the adrenals, the endocrine system, the liver, the kidney, the spleen, the gallbladder, pancreas. There's a movement that I do on the Cellerciser that involves spreading the feet apart a little bit. You bend the knees slightly, lift the heels up and down, and do a twist. Every day I'm on the mat the whole time, but as I lift my heels up and down and do a gentle twist, I loosen up the lower back. I help to put the colon and the intestines through a little washing machine effect, which helps to improve digestion and elimination processes. I take all those internal organs and I gently massage them. Now, most people live a static existence day after day. They're walking around with gravity always pulling down. And it's kind of like taking a jar of water with a bunch of dirt clods in it. You can walk it around all day long. It just sits there. But the moment you take that jar of water and those dirt clods and you start to move it up and down, what do you do to the dirt clods? You begin to break them up. Well, when you move up and down on a Cellerciser, it breaks blood cells apart. It helps to increase oxygen and nutrients to those cells. They circulate through the body better. You don't have the same sticky blood you did before you began Cellercising. And so, again, it's the best wake-up call that we can do. After I've done my gentle twisting, I focus on different areas of the body. Now, a lot of people want to flatten the stomach or tighten the stomach in that area, and that's fine. To lose weight in that area, though, we want to use the Jamba run or the Jamba walk. It's going to build up the knees, but it's also going to create an intense workout. Those big muscles have a great demand, and they need energy. And when you've eaten up the glucose and sugars in the bloodstream, that energy is not readily available. Then those cells have got to go after other sources of fuel. And that's exactly what we want them to do. So we do repetitions of the Jamba run, and that really burns off the calories. And then I do a technique that works the hips, inner outer thigh, and the lateral knee, both sides of the knee. But I want you to keep in mind, when you are exercising, even though you can do different, this is critical, this is very unique. Even though you can focus on specific areas of the body by doing different movements or altering or leveraging your weight in different positions, the entire body, every single cell, every single muscle of your body is still expanding and contracting in unison, and that is unique. It's huge. With typical programs, you generally work one part of the body. You'll work on one area of the body, and then another area of the body, and then another area of the body, and it takes a lot longer to do it, and you're never really exercising in a totally balanced state. Now, the fitness industry loves that, and I've talked about this, and many of you have heard me say it. They love it because there are many different muscle groups or body parts to go around. You've got wedges, abdominal boards, rowers, ski toners, porta bikes, fitness climbers, stairmasters, health riders, Nordic tracks, swing airdynes, life cycle, life roarers, stomach crunchers, thigh masters, ab blasters, solo flex, treadmill, cyclones, body gyms, total gyms, torso track, flow flex, gazelles, and the list goes on. And as long as we buy into that methodology, I think we can rest assured every 6 months or so the fitness industry will find another way of packaging another piece of exercise equipment just a little differently so they can motivate you to add to your ongoing collection, because that's how they make their money. And yet, when was the last time you saw a dog or a cat or any animal for that matter lifting or pumping iron or weights or pull-ups and all these various different techniques that we as a human species have bought into? So solar size is very different. The weight is on every muscle, again, every muscle, bone, connective tissue, ligament, tendon, skin, biggest organ of the body. How do you get a skin cell to do a push-up? Well, you put it underweight. How do you do that? You cell size. You see, every time you come down to the bottom of the balance, every single cell has an increase of weight against the cell membrane. And it responds to the increase of weight simply by fortifying its membrane with more protein, because it doesn't want to rupture. Well, when you're cell sizing, you can be, again, watching TV. You can have the air conditioning on or the heater or locking the door for safety and privacy, and as you're moving up and down, so is every single cell of your body. And they are all being exposed to an increase of weight over 100 times a minute. Now, your body doesn't want to get shorter and shorter and shorter because of all the weight you keep putting on it as you bounce up and down. So it responds to that increase of weight by getting stronger, and stronger. And I want to read a few testimonials, because you're all going to be able to either relate to this or you will know somebody who can relate to this. And again, the cell sizer, you can feel absolutely confident in saying that no one, if somebody tells you, yeah, ours is just the same as yours, it isn't. You jump on theirs and then jump on ours, and you'll notice the difference. So we're the only ones, again, that have a trifold cell sizer. The legs fold down, the unit folds in half, and then it folds in thirds. It forms a little triangle. It fits into a carrying case with wheels and a pull-out handle. And when I travel all around the world, that goes with me in the overhead luggage bin of most commercial airlines. And so it's very, very convenient. So I don't know a better program that's more fun, that's easy, that's convenient, that's economical, that's safe, and that's portable. Okay, so this one's from Oscar. Oscar writes, it's almost been 3 weeks now since I started using your solar sizer. It's the 5th unit I bought in the last 3 years, and the best with predictable body cushion and great bounce. I have recommended and demonstrated the solar sizer to my family. I care about them to achieve a healthier lifestyle. I told them that they will be amazed at the difference in muscle tone and whole body endurance with regular use. It is a whole body exercise. Every part of your body is stimulated including our internal organs. My waist at 34.5 inches before is now 31 inches and is noticeably reduced and tightened with more defined and hardened abs. defined chest, and much more improved flex biceps. The skin tone benefits also from the lymph movement and blood circulation. And he goes on to tell me, please contact my family, and gives me their names and addresses, which is really kind of nice. So the reason I share that is everybody knows somebody who could benefit from a program that's probably considered the most effective, most efficient form of exercise ever created. And here's another one. Okay, bladder control issues, which is it's a problem for a lot of people. This was a lady. She says, Dave, after a little over 1 week on the Cellerciser, I have a lot of good things to say about it. First, I started out slowly because I felt like I was using a lot of different muscles that I don't get in my regular exercise program, which is very true. And I was experiencing loss of urinary control. After only 3 days, I was able to Cellercise for 10 minutes with urinary control at short jumping, no high jumping. After 1 week, I was able to Cellercise fast, hard, and high with full urinary control. I can go for longer periods of time without having to find a bathroom, and I no longer lose urinary control when I sneeze. It's totally amazing to me that something like this can work so quickly. I also noticed that my digestion has improved substantially. And then she talked a little bit more about her husband and some of his benefits too, but I share that because the bladder is controlled by a sphincter muscle. And you can do the Kegel techniques to tighten, which is more of an isometric, but when you bounce and do the isometric, then it's called an isotonic. It's weight-bearing. It's more weight. And the increase of weight can help that muscle get bigger and stronger. There's another one, Ginger. She's super. She is really a neat lady. She says, Cellercising has changed my life, has given me physical and mental strength and toning, the body I dreamed of for 49 years. Easy, effortless, fun, most joyous form of exercise. I take this wonderful time to talk with Heavenly Father, bless my body and body temple, she says, and do affirmations and feel like a kid jumping with joy. In 2 weeks, I am competing at Mrs. California America, and I'm going to be ready. And then she says, I am doing the Jamba Run. I told you the Jamba Run can only be done on a Cellerciser, but I'm doing the Jamba Run with electric, renewed enthusiasm each day, thinking of your words to me. With gratitude to you, your Cellerciser has changed my life. And then she sends her picture. George writes, I've been using the Cellerciser for 1 month, mostly 6 days out of a week for 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes less. I think it realigns my colon. We want to talk about that for a moment. George goes on to say that now I can go to the bathroom and I have a complete evacuation. Before Cellerciser, which he says BC, I would be lucky if I could go to the bathroom twice to have a complete evacuation. I am sure the Cellerciser is helping me improve all systems. I think the Cellerciser realigned, reconditioned my colon. You know, one of the techniques on the Cellerciser, and it's so important, digestion elimination processes are critical for good health. We have a tendency to build up over many years a mucous membrane lining that can accumulate within the intestines and prohibit the ability of the body to absorb nutrients effectively. Well, when you get on a Cellerciser, one of the techniques is to stand there, spread the feet apart a little bit, lift the heels up and down, and do a gentle twist. And as you're doing a gentle twist and moving up and down, you're putting that colon and those intestines, again, through a little washing machine to help improve digestion elimination processes. This is Rod. He says, I purchased Cellerciser from you last spring. He says, the point of my letter is I went to the doctor's last week for a routine visit and discovered I'd grown an entire inch since last year. As a young adult, I stood 6'2", but have typically measured 6'1" for some time now. I'm 48 years of age and had resigned myself to the loss in height, to one of the inevitabilities of middle age. At the announcement of my new height, I smiled, recalling your own story of how you grew taller with the Cellerciser. It's very important that we know how to maintain the health of the back. And imbibing those discs with synovial fluid or circulation is critical for good health. Dr. Hanks writes here in a letter he wrote to me, he says, the cerebral spinal fluid pumping action that is created by spinal joint movement is essential to proper brain function and fluid dynamics in the spinal cord. Spinal disc health is bereft without the constant movement of water into and out of the discs themselves. In fact, the disc of the human spine consists of 80% water. This imbibing of water and nutrients in the spinal disc is wholly accomplished by the body's kinetic movement, which acts as a pump. Without such movement in the spine, the discs starve literally. Disc herniations and degeneration are highly intensified when improper or inadequate biomechanics of the joints exist. David Hall's Cellerciser goes a long way in inducing and maintaining this most necessary motion in the human body. So there's movement that I teach on the Cellerciser designed to open up the back and the vertebrae. And through the different movements where the shoulders kind of come up and down and your feet kind of cross in front of you left and right, and I demonstrate that on the DVD, it helps to open up the back and the vertebrae. A couple more, and then I'm going to talk just a little bit about the DVD as a tool for those of you who want to help get this word out to more people. Barbara writes, weight is down, energy is up. My my last visit with the doctor was so good, she kept saying, "What are you doing?" Well, I told her, I'm Cellercising. I just did a 20-mile walk for hunger in Boston this Sunday. I am pain-free. I feel like a bionic woman. I am 55 years old and I do not walk. I did not train. But because I Cellercised 30 minutes a day, the walk was a piece of cake. Thanks, Dave, Barbara. And there's just a couple more that are good that I'm sure many of you can relate to. This is Lee or Les. Les says, my wife and I invested in the Cellerciser in April and have been using it since. Being an engineer, I could see that you have made a quality product, and I expect it to go for many, many miles. We love it and enjoy this method of exercising. It's non-jarring and fun to use. In the beginning, I was too enthusiastic and did a little too much and was very tired. We are in our late 50s, and finding this equipment tailor-made for us. Our bodies are getting toned inside and outside. Just that 6 to 10 minute time makes a big difference of how you feel for the rest of the day, and it does improve flexibility and confidence and mobility. So I think, again, it's important that we understand that we all need exercise, and Cellercise doesn't limit the effect. It's on every single cell. Now, the DVD that we have is called Cellercise, the Ultimate Exercise. That DVD is a tool that you can share with other people, and it's a phenomenal tool. It gets through the entire presentation, the entire program. It does a demonstration, and it opens the door for you to demonstrate with other people how much stronger and balanced they are in just a few minutes of Cellercising. I remember working several times with people with multiple sclerosis, and we would get them on a Cellerciser. And there were several, 80% improvement. We had one lady who came in from Oregon, walked into my office and couldn't control her balance or strength at all, and walked out. And before she left, I wouldn't have known her from any other person. She walked out with her mouth hanging clear to the floor. So people with migraine headaches, circulation is critical for promoting health and healing. We've got great testimonials on that too. So this DVD is something you can watch, and then you have a home party after they're done watching the DVD. Then you can do the strength and balance test. They will have been educated. They'll see how it works. They will have personally experienced it, and they're going to know why they need it. And at that point, they're just going to say, how do I get involved? So again, people with weight loss issues, knee problems, hip problems, back problems, digestion, urination issues, sleep disorders, stress or tension, migraine headaches, people with high blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, triglyceride levels that need exercise. There's nothing like Cellercise. Gentry, you still there?
I am, David. Thank you so much for sharing that wonderful information and, just helping us understand what the Cellerciser does. I do have one question for you, and my wife actually brought this up to me. She's been on the Cellerciser quite a bit lately, and if she's listening, I hope she doesn't get mad for me asking. But as far as all the exercises that you have for the Cellerciser, is it important to stretch before and after, or do you have certain stretches that go with those exercises after?
Thank you. That's a great question. And there's nothing wrong with stretching. Stretching is fine unless you overdo it. You can actually damage the tissue if you overstretch, and that happens far too often, and it tears the tissue, and that's not healthy. But when you cellular-size, I don't stretch. When you cellular-size, you are gently moving up and down, and every cell membrane, every single cell, all the tissue is gently expanding and contracting and increasing in circulation and flexibility automatically. And so I'll often have somebody try to touch their toes before they get on a cellular-sizer, do a cellular-size session, and the gentle baby bounce, the gentle movement up in the very beginning is the warm-up. So you want to do the gentle baby bounce or health bounce. And then after that, after they're done with their session, they try to touch their toes again, and they see how much more flexible they are. And the advantage of cellular-size, again, it's not targeting specific muscle groups, ligaments, or tendons like you would with typical exercise. For example, if you applied 20 or 30 or 40% more weight to your bicep 100 times a minute, and you did it for 10 solid minutes, nobody's going to argue if you can do it. That's a good exercise for your bicep. Now you got to work all the other muscle groups. Most of us don't have time for that. So we get on a cellular-sizer and we move up and down. We're increasing the weight against the cell membrane 20, 30, 40% or more, depending on how high we're jumping or how we're leveraging that weight in the different movements. And it's not limited. It's not just on that muscle. It's on everything. Collagen, that's a protein fiber. Again, cellular-size helps to build up, tighten, and tone from the inside out because the weight-bearing activity involved is from the inside out. But the pressure changes as we're moving up and down. It's stimulating circulation to all tissue areas of the body. And so that increases flexibility.
Perfect. Thank you so much, David. Thank you, and thank you for taking time out of your night to kind of educate us more on the cellular-sizer. Before we close real quick, we have a special announcement from Director of Sales, James Grant. James, are you there?
I'm here, Gentry.
All right, I'll turn this time over to James real quick.
Fantastic. Hey, guys, I have something exciting to share tonight. With the spring that is approaching us and with the announcement of the cellular-sizer and the wonderful information that we get from David Hall, and thank you, David, for sharing with us tonight. But we also have just announced 2 new products, the Equivalent Plus with xanthones in the vanilla flavor and the chocolate flavor, which is wonderful replacement meals. It's a shake, and they are wonderful. And with that, we decided as a group, and particularly with Darren and saying we need to do something with the spring that's happening, Q Sciences is going to launch a challenge, the Celebration of Spring, that is all about renewing and the transformation and embracing the core philosophy that we have, which is obviously the science of happiness. So this exciting challenge is going to go out to everybody. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, wow, what if I'm at the weight that I want? What if I'm at this? This challenge is for you. So here's what it is. Since Q Sciences has the proper nutrition, we have the great products, we now have the ability to exercise in a way that is just amazing, as we've just heard. We add to that the opportunity of Q Sciences along with the community, with Facebook and with the back office and everything that we have. That's going to provide true happiness. And so this competition is this, whether you're looking to shed a few pounds or just gain some energy or look for a healthy lifestyle, and you're wanting to stick with something that's going to enjoy and is going to enhance your life, this challenge is going to do this. Everyone, it's going to be some before pictures. Take some before pictures, and then we want one of you holding up a sign that has the date on it. And we are going to start this as of April 1st all the way through June 30th. So it's going to be a 3-month competition and challenge, and it's all about maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Balanced diet, whether it's a balanced diet, again, it's really the lifestyle, and whether it's you're trying to lose weight or you're just trying to find that true happiness, then this is what it's all about. 50% of this competition will be judged according to transforming your body. The other 50% is going to be based upon an essay that you will write to us that how Q Sciences has helped change and transform your lifestyle into the happiness or how it's changed to get the lifestyle you've always dreamt about and want to have a part of that. So half of it has to do with transforming your body. The other half is based upon an essay that's written on how, whether it's the products or whether it's the whole idea of happiness and how how Q Sciences has helped you transform your lifestyle. And we are going to judge this through Q Sciences Corporation, as well as we'll grab people from the office, as well as the FAC group that is the Field Advisory Council that will be a part of the judges, and we'll pick a winner. Now, I hope everybody is either sitting down and has a pen and paper in their hand, because you are not going to want to miss what the prize is. Grand prize, and if I had a drum roll, I'd do a drum roll, but I don't. But grand prize is an all-expense-paid trip to the Bahamas, and we're going to invite you, the winner, and your spouse or a non-other IBO to join you on a cruise with the Silvers. You heard it right. The winner of this competition is going to have an all-expense-paid trip to join us on the cruise, to rub shoulders with the leaders and just have a wonderful time with Darren and with Mark and the other people that are going to be a part of that cruise, and the leaders, and just have that chance to be with them. And that's where we want you to show off the transformation and just be a part of our group. And so we are also, that's the main prize. That's what we're all going to be focusing on, but we're also going to have several other small prizes along the way. We want to make sure that we are rewarding those that are participating with this, and fun challenges and just fun little things that we'll do throughout the whole entire competition. And so that is the spring challenge with Q Sciences. We're so excited to have that a part. I just wanted to share a couple things that is going to help you guys with that. Number one, we appreciate David Hall. In fact, for the last few weeks, David Hall has been coming into the corporate office and has been doing a special seminar. That is going to happen again next Wednesday. We're going to have David Hall in the office at 7 o'clock, and we'll be talking about the products. And then at 7:30, David Hall is going to do a full demonstration of the Cellar Sizer. So anybody that's here in the Utah area that you want to invite to the corporate office, have them come on down and actually have a chance to meet with David Hall. We are also adding, as we are now going out and sharing and expanding and growing your businesses, we have added to the enrollment packages where you can actually bring somebody on, and we have what we call a fit pack. This is to take your health and fitness to the next level with the fit packs. And it's going to include a Cellar Sizer. It's going to include the new equivalent shakes, a bottle of the amino acids, a bottle of the Empower Plus Q96, the shaker cup, the Science Shaper cup, and as well as 2 of the sprays along with a D3 test kit. And all of that is going to come together for the trifold package. It will be a total of $674.95, and that's going to be at the 370. That will carry a 375 PV on that one. Or the bifold pack, instead of the trifold, it's the same stuff except the bifold will be for $619.95. Now, I went through some of this information fast tonight, but tomorrow, take a look and make sure you're checking your emails, because there is going to be all of this information is in detail is going to be coming out in our special Q News. So make sure you get the very latest information, and all of this that we just announced tonight will be shared through Q News tomorrow. That's going to be delivered to your email address. And if you don't get it, make sure if you're not getting that, make sure you let us know, and we'll make sure we get one out to you, or check with your upline and they'll forward it to you. But it will have all the information you need to really join in on the Q Sciences Spring Challenge, and we invite everyone to participate to be a part of this challenge. So we are just excited to have kick this off. Yes.
Yes, if I can make a comment for all those who are listening, this is not age-related. This is for all ages, and it's so important you understand that. Cells really don't get old. They're always replacing themselves. They get weak, and when cells get weak, body parts and functions get weak. We can strengthen and improve the efficiency of our body at any age. And I just a couple of comments. I had a lady who got on the Cellerciser. She'd been on it for about 3.5 weeks, calls me up at the office and to brag. She says, David, you should have seen me yesterday. I was on top of my rooftop repairing my own shingles, and you should have seen the neighbors. She was 91 years of age. Now, I'm not advocating that you do that, but what I am saying is that balance, equilibrium, and how you feel is important. And when you embark on the program that James was talking about, you will. Your cells are going to function more efficiently. You're going to feel better. It isn't hard. You don't have, again, tear down and this is simple. In fact, there's a lady, one of the testimonials, and then I'll be done. Thank you, James. She says, Dave, I just wanted to let you know that my Cellerciser was delivered yesterday afternoon. When the UPS man slid it under the door, I thought this would be my challenge for the week. I was wondering what tools I would need to put it together, and then decided just to open it and find the instructions. I slid the Cellerciser out and flipped it open. What a surprise. The legs were neatly tucked, and all I had to do was snap them on. Done. All you do is lift them up, and they snap in place. I stood it up and then saw the envelope with charts, brochures, etc. One of the papers said instructions for assembling the stability bar. I looked at the picture, and then at the 5 pieces I have already laid out, and in less time than you can say easy peasy, I had the gem put together. No tools needed. Just so you know, I'm a 78-year-old woman who lives by herself, and it took me more time to open the box and slide out the main piece than it did for me to put it together. She goes on to say that, what a joy that health balance is doing for her. But I just wanted to share that with you again. What James is offering is an opportunity for everyone to reach a greater health potential. Thanks, James.
Yep, absolutely, David. It's for young and old and for all of us. And in fact, even the office is going to get involved with this because we just feel like it's a great transformation. So, Gentry, I'm going to turn it back over to you and let you close out the call and if there's any announcements that you need to share.
All right, thank you guys. We've kind of exceeded our time limit here, so I'm just going to quickly close out the call. Just again, the Rocky Mountain Summit coming up in May 16th and 17th. Those tickets prices will go up April 1st to $99.95. Right now they are $79.95. So take advantage of that. Just like James and David have said, take advantage of the Cellerciser. Get in on this promotion and take advantage of having a chance to go on a cruise and spend some time with some leaders and be able to learn and grow. And just we're grateful for Q Sciences and all the great products that they have. And like we say here at Q, let's have a great week and let's go Q it up. And thank you guys for your time and have a great night.